Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met before, my name is Jade and I'm so glad that you're here. Today I'm really excited to share the beginning of my weight loss journey. Now it's only been a couple of weeks, but I really wanted you to come along for the ride with me. So let's get started and let's talk about some baseline stats. So at the beginning of this journey, I was actually a size 14. So I had always fluctuated between a size 10 and a 12. And I noticed that when I started to reach the the higher end of the size 14. So in this video, and I believe future videos, I'm not comfortable using kilos as a measurement tool. I don't think it's helpful for me personally, as I am somebody who can get fixated on numbers and, this is X amount that I have to lose, and that is just not helpful to me. If that is something that is helpful for you, then go for it. I definitely recommend you need to do what works for you, what's best for you. I like to be using my clothing as the measurement because, sometimes when I put something on, like my Levi jeans, for example, and I notice they're a little bit tighter than normal or they're a little bit looser, it's not something that I fixate on specifically. It's just something that I notice, which I think is a healthier way, because I am the personality type that will fixate on numbers. And I think that 80 kilos looks different on everybody. Every single person looks different, and there's so much that goes into your genetic makeup. 80 kilos on me may look completely different to 80 kilos on you. Something else that I noticed that was actually quite alarming to me was that when I was reaching that higher end of the scale of being a size 14, I noticed that I started to develop pain in my hip flexor and also my lower back, and these are issues that I never really had before. But I thought maybe it's because I work in an office every day. I'm usually sitting down with any sort of work that I do. Also, I was having horrible sleeps. I was not sleeping well at all. And also I would notice if I was going for a walk or just on a lunch break going for a walk, if there was a small incline, I would notice my heart starting to pound, and I actually started to feel a little bit puffed. And previously I've always sort of been somebody who was quite fit, quite healthy. Having that realization really made me stop and think about things. So overall, it was time for a change. So my main goal overall was to feel better physically and mentally, whatever that meant for me. So in the first couple of weeks, I wanted to make small changes and really small improvements that I could start developing an actual lifestyle and not going cold turkey and jumping both feet straight into a place where I knew that I was going to fail. Well, I've known from previous experience that whenever I have done anything drastically, or I've completely cut everything out and I've tried to be extremely militant about it, these are not strategies for myself that result in long-term change. So for me, the main areas that I focused on and tried to improve was moving, eating healthier, and just my overall feeling of being in my body. As I said previously, I work in an office, so I'm usually sitting at a desk working away and needing to be conscious of screen breaks and going for little strolls and maybe going for a walk on my lunch break just to get fresh air. But I noticed that this wasn't enough anymore. I am somebody who had always been quite active, and I have done HIIT training, weight training, I've done yoga, I've done just normal Pilates, and going from having something consistent or having some sort of training program to look forward to always kept me accountable. So, okay, how can I get moving more? I said, okay, I am going to try and do a minimum of 10,000 steps every single day, because there was one day that I had only reached 3,000 steps, and that to me was just made me really uncomfortable. Every single step counted to me. Any movement counts. So I implemented that. Also, I recently joined up to a new gym and I absolutely love it. It is so beautiful. The staff are friendly. The culture at the gym is actually really positive as well. So when I saw that this gym provided reformers Pilates, and it was in a very beautiful studio, and all the women that went had really good posture, they looked very, very fit, and I just thought this could be something that could be the gateway into moving more. So before I knew it, I joined up to their classes, and the muscle soreness came the next day without fail, and that was something I had struggled with as well. But we'll talk about that in a second. And joining into the Reformer Pilates class, I loved that it was in a beautiful space. It felt very calming, and I felt like I could do the range of movements, and I only really had myself to, I guess, compete with, you know, like it was up to me to make sure that the springs were heavier. It was up to me to try and do my best every single time. Another thing was eating healthier. So I knew before this challenge that my eating was absolutely atrocious, and it was not good at all. I was eating takeaway 4 times a week minimum, and that is just not something I like to do, but it was all out of convenience. I believe personally that I use convenience as an excuse to continue those really bad eating habits and not really cooking for myself. And my husband would cook for us and things like that. He's an amazing cook, but I was just not making good choices. I would be the one that's like, oh, let's just get takeout so we can just like enjoy our time together, and you know, none of us are cooking and cleaning and doing all of that sort of stuff. Someone who does believe in you are what you eat, and I didn't want to be a baked potato or a fried chicken, even though those are great. It just was knowing my limits and making sure that I didn't go overboard, because I had no portion control. I just would eat. I just remember feeling so sick, and it sort of made me stop and appreciate how amazing it was to feel healthy and to feel like you had energy and you could do things. I just thought to myself, I'm gonna do anything I can to feel better than what I feel now. And of course it wasn't smooth sailing. I definitely experienced challenges since starting this weight loss journey. One of those challenges was my food cravings and my energy levels. I just wanted sugar so bad. Trying to lower that intake, I actually felt like I experienced withdrawal symptoms. And also energy levels starting to move again, starting to work out, starting to embrace this change. You know, I felt so motivated on the inside, and I wanted to smash it, and I wanted to get going, and I wanted to do, you know, XYZ, but my energy levels just weren't there. And that was something that slowly changed over time, which was amazing. But also I believe the energy changes were because of the movement and because I was getting up and moving, but because my body was so used to eating bad things that when I started to give it, I guess, good stuff, it just was like, whoa, what the hell? And it didn't really know how to process them. And because I was doing workouts like reformer Pilates and things like that, because of my muscle soreness, that was something that got to me as well. So I started to really think about my eating as a source of fuel and recovery. So that came in the form of protein intake, supplements that I was taking. So I tried what I call the swapping system, and I know that this is a popular method that a lot of people do. So instead of drinking Coke or Fanta, fizzy drink, whatever, I instead started to switch to a sugar-free option. I would actually invest in time to make kale chips, or if I knew that I was going to have a very busy week, I just went to the shops and I got a healthier option. I literally went to the health aisle, I looked at the variety there, I got like cauliflower puff chips, or I did end up getting kale chips. Now, when it came to moving, I knew that I needed to be patient with myself, and I found this extremely difficult because I felt such a strong motivational pull. I wanted to be up and running. I wanted to be, you know, smashing the workouts every single day, but this is just not realistic. Your body needs time to adjust and it needs time to heal. But for me, I struggled with that. I mean, I can say that all day, but the reality is that I really struggled with forcing myself to rest and recover from these workouts. And these workouts may not seem strenuous, or they may not seem hard to, you guys who's watching, or, if I told a friend or something like that. But for me, they were really difficult and they were really hard, and they were giving me muscle soreness, as crazy as that sounds. And so forcing myself to make sure that I just rested, I recovered, I stretched after, doing the walking workouts or doing the reformer Pilates, and using foam rolling, things like that. So yeah, just being patient with myself, and just, I guess, having long-term belief that I am doing this for a reason. I want to be healthier. I want to, I want to create longevity of my life. I don't want to become somebody who I don't recognize anymore. And I really felt like that was starting to happen. And I just thought, yep, you know what? That's enough. Along with challenges, we also need to appreciate the small wins. And I'm somebody who's huge on celebrating anything at all. Any wins are wins, small, big, whatever. And so for me, I really loved that I had joined up to, my gym. They offered the reformer Pilates, and I loved it. Like, who knew reformers Pilates was that much fun? And I really loved that I was showing up for myself. I was going to something that really took my interest, and it's not a style of movement that I'm used to. So every time I would go, I would do new positions, new poses, new resistance training, and I felt like every single time I was working my whole body, whereas previously I would do weight days, like splits, like Monday you'll do leg day, Tuesday XYZ. So for me, it was a great way to show that I was promising myself to follow through with something, and I was achieving it. And so let's talk about the frequency. So frequency for me, when I first started, it was very far and few in between. I would try and do a walking workout every single day, and that's actually what I started with. So I started by trying to do a walking workout every single day, and now I can say that I have done one for at least 30 minutes every single day. And that may not seem like a lot, but being someone who's office-based, sitting down all the time, to then doing over 10,000 steps every single day. And some days I did an hour of the walking workout. So shout out to Grow with Jo. Like, she really kept me on track, and I think she really embraces beginner workouts and really gives you a good foundation of where to start, and also making it really fun. Like, marching in your living room, girl, that's so boring. But like, she really was engaging, and she made me show up every day, which was really, really good, and I can't thank her enough. And also, when starting Reformer Pilates, I would struggle to go even 3 times a week because my muscles would be that sore. And now I'm at a stage where I literally go nearly every single day, besides date night or whatever. So that's such a win. That's such a drastic difference. And I feel like I have seen changes in my body where I feel a lot stronger, and I feel like when I really started Reformer Pilates, my core was absolutely killing. I could not even do half of the core exercise. Like, my core has strengthened so much, and I know I still have a long way to go when it comes to my core, but being able to feel the difference, I think, is something that keeps you going and keeps you moving forward with what you're doing. Now onto eating. So small win wise, when it comes to eating, I've actually maintained my my food swap system that I had been doing. Because I'm just doing the swapping method, I'm finding it a lot easier than other previous times when I've started a health journey and I've just cold turkey, no sugar, no fizzy drink, no anything. Usually also on the weekends, I am a little bit more relaxed, because just being realistic about life and what you're doing, where you're going, I noticed that on the weekends, that's when we do a lot of our errands. That's when we spend a lot of our quality time together. So instead, I will make sure that if we're out and about, I'll just get a healthier option for breakfast and lunch. Physically and mentally, I feel happier overall, and physically I feel a lot stronger, which is absolutely amazing. Since embarking on this journey, I have kept that promise to myself, and that is something that is really special to me, because I mean, I've started and stopped so many times in my life, and knowing that I'm being accountable, I'm showing up for myself, and I'm really motivated to ride this out. I'm really motivated to see where it goes and where I can take it. I know that I'm at the very beginning, but nonetheless, it's still really important to reflect and appreciate from where I actually originally started. And I know that there's so much more to come, and I'm actually really excited about that. Want to be conscious that now that I am getting a little bit older and I am starting to see these changes in my body, because I'm 30, and I want to make sure that when I do have children, I am in the healthiest state that I possibly can whenever that happens. And I want to be able to do things. I want to be able to run down the street if I need to, or I want to be able to join in on sports or games, or go on hikes. I want to be able to do all of these things that I've always been able to do, and now I feel like I'm at a stage where I can't. Alright guys, so this is just the beginning of my weight loss journey, and there's so much to come. In future videos, I'm going to be sharing what kind of workouts that I'm doing, whether they are walking workouts, reformer Pilates. I've been getting into aerial yoga as well. Forgot to mention that too. The types of food that I've been eating, tips and tricks that I'm learning along the way that I can possibly share with you guys. So if you've made it this far, smash that like and hit that subscribe button, because I don't want you to miss any of it. Now, before we wrap up, I really want to hear from you. Have you recently started your own weight loss journey? What are some tips and tricks that you have learned along the way that you could share with me? Let's support each other and let's go on this journey together. Remember that we are in this together. With dedication and determination that we both share, we can do it. We can make it. So stay tuned for the next video. Until then, stay motivated, stay positive, and keep believing in yourself. And until then, I'll see you soon.